Okay, welcome back to my channel. It's time to make some chaos. Already looks rather chaotic down here, I know. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making one of these. It's a little light up shadow box Valentine. This would be good to give to a friend, a loved one, just to have sit around to decorate the house. And this one, I added some glitter to the flowers that are in there because I thought the sparkle would look extra nice. Added glitter to that long stem in there and some glitter to the pink petals too. Anything that's glittered in there, I've added the glitter. So this is what I'm going to make. Let me turn off a light, see if we can get a better look. See, there you go. That's a better look. Okay. So, that's what we're going to make. I'm going to do a few things different on this one than I did on this next one than I did on this first one. Here is the box. You guys might recognize this from one of my Dollar Tree hauls. This is exactly the project I had planned. So you're going to need a box. You're going to need some flowers or whatever you want to put on the inside of the box. You're going to need a glue gun. I have broke out my big bad boy because I have been putting that little tiny one through the wringer. You're going to need some, of course, glue sticks to go with that glue gun. Scissors. Wire cutters. Wire cutters are mostly for the flowers. You're going to need an X-Acto knife of some sort. Going to need some lights. Now these lights, I didn't realize it. I didn't read very well, first off. Red LEDs. When I first opened this up for the other project, I thought, oh, cool, this will be so cute. I took off the hearts to make it easier getting them in the box. I thought, oh, white. I can just leave off the red hearts if I don't want a whole bunch of red lighting. Wrong. They're red regardless. So, yeah. I'm going to need a little bit of red paint with the way I'm going to do this. A piece of cardboard. I just took apart a cereal box. Any cereal box. So, instead of using the hearts, I'm going to use some of the white Christmas LEDs. Even though this is green wire, you're not going to see it in that box. You need something to put the paint in. I like to reuse. I'm a contact wearer, so I have all kinds of contact lens cases that I'm going to reuse. And I thought, well, I'll use my red caps for my red paint. Obviously, you're going to need a paintbrush and some water to clean that paintbrush. Okay, first things first. What I'm going to be doing with this cardstock. We'll call it cardstock so we don't get into trouble. I'm going to take this and I'm going to measure. I want to make a little bit of a stand in the bottom of this so that my flowers don't get lost like they kind of did in this one, because it's sitting so low. If it wasn't such a big flower, you wouldn't be able to see it. And then because that's such a big flower, you can't hardly see the other two flowers. So I'm going to make just a little quick stand in here. And what I did is I just measured across where I wanted with my cardboard. Then I folded it, and now I'm going to cut probably about ½ inch to an inch, somewhere around in there, down past my fold, so that I have now this little table. The reason you're going to do this part first is because you've got to have time for the paint to dry while you're doing some of your other steps. I've got my glue gun plugged in, warming up, by the way. Don't need a whole lot of paint. A little bit of paint goes a long way. I guess you don't really have to paint the flaps that are going to get glued down, but you never know. You're really not going to see this flat part, but just in case, you want it to kind of blend in. So if you had a different one of these boxes, you would paint your little piece of cardboard whatever color you want to correspond with your box, just so that it doesn't like stand out glaringly obvious. Okay, so what I did is I quickly painted both sides. I'm going to stand this up on its side to dry off out of the way so that I don't get messy. And like I said in a previous video, I keep wet wipes on hand. I get in a rip-roaring mess when I craft, but I don't want to get paint on anything else. So I'm going to clean up my area. And this is just wax paper that's down on my desk right now. I usually use like these plastic cutting mats from the Dollar Tree, but I've been making a bigger mess than that size is, so I just put out some wax paper to protect my area. Okay, now while I have that drying, we're going to take this box, you're going to turn it over, you're going to get your X-Acto knife, let me make sure this is in frame, and you're just going to cut a small little square in the back, and that will be so that you can get your lighting into the box. Okay, that's all you did. Now if you don't want this showing on the back, you could set this down, trace a piece of paper, you could decoupage that paper onto the back so that you don't have the UPC code showing. Most people aren't going to look at the back, so I don't really care. And I just remembered I forgot to list something, because this isn't going to stand up on its own. You have to make a stand. 2 paper clips, 2 of the large paper clips. And just kind of pull it out. You want your large pieces out. What you're going to do is you're going to slide that in. Hold on, I'm going wrong. You want your large piece on the inside and your small piece on the outside. Okay, like that. That's going to make your stand. You're gonna... Ooh, this is some hot glue. Let me tell you. Alright, put a dollop of hot glue on the inside. Forgot I was using a bigger, heavier duty hot gun. Just can't talk today. You'll just put them both. Ooh, I'm making a mess. See, I told you, chaotic crafter. Alright. You want them both to be on opposite sides, like this. Doesn't matter if it stands up right now or not. You can always go and remanipulate the wire as needed. But you want to make sure that they're on opposite sides and glued into place. Now, if your hot glue strings, like I don't know if you can see this stringing or not, just wait till the hot glue has cooled and you'll be able to pluck those strings right off without a problem. I gotta just wait for a minute. let that cool down. See, I'm trying to rush, so every time I move the wires, it pulls it up out of the hot glue. We don't want that happening. Okay, my paint's almost dry. So I'm gonna hot glue on this side and this side. Now, I originally got this idea from another crafter that did a Christmas one with some Christmas tins from the Dollar Tree. So this is an adaptation, and I really should have thought about saving which crafter that was, because then I could give them credit, but just know this is my take on a different window box, basically. So now I have my little shelf to build my flowers out on. I'm going to set this over to the side so that my wires can, the glue can cure around those wires a little bit better. Now, my flowers. You can use any kind of flowers, or like if there's a little statue you want to put in there, or you could even put a picture of somebody else in there if you wanted to. You can do that. The other thing is we have to wait and make sure that that glue is good and dry, because we're going to lace our lights in there through that little hole in the bottom. There we go. Well, goodness. What's going on here? It's gotten discombobulated. The chaos ensues. Alright, got that all undone. So, I'm going to look through. These are flowers that I had, but I probably got them from, you guessed it, the Dollar Tree. They have some really cute flowers. I think I'm going to do 2 of these. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the leaves all the way up, and then I'm going to cut down just a little bit, because I don't need a whole lot of the stem, but the greenery will look really cute in there. And then I'm going to pick 1 rose. I think I like this one with the, I think that's got a good amount of baby's breath. Ooh, I think this one's better. No, I like this one better. So again, I'm going to push some leaves up and cut. There we go. Okay. Now these flowers were probably something I got from a thrift store, so they're not really full. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the pieces that aren't full, and I'm going to do that over here. Or maybe I'll just keep a bunch together and it'll hide the fact that it's not so full. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my flower in here, and see, I'm going to have to cut this a lot shorter, so just cut it off. And I'm going to put a flower there. I know I'm going to have to cut this one shorter, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You want to leave just enough stem on there so that the leaves stay in place for now. Because you want to make it easy on yourself. You don't want to have to be like gluing everything into place. There we go. So there's 1 set of flowers. And Okay, got to cut that stem a little shorter. Because you want to make sure everything's visible by almost about an inch down. There we go. That looks kind of cute. Okay, we're not going to glue it in place or anything. Not yet. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. That way, if you get tired of the flowers, you can just pop them out real quick and easy. Put something else in place. Now, the glue is good and dry, so I can thread in my lights. They go in nice and easy. Try and make sure I stay on camera. Now you can get the lights that have plugs. You just kind of want to make sure that you're using these little mini LEDs because they don't produce heat like the old-fashioned light bulbs. I did pick up some old-fashioned light bulbs this year after Christmas. I'm probably going to use those in the metal tins because I won't really have to worry about paper burning. This is paper, so I don't want anything that's going to create heat. The other thing that I did that I forgot to mention, and you might notice I forget to mention things a bit, I don't mind admitting, I left probably about a ½ inch from the lip. That way I had room to bring my lights out. Now you bring your lights out and you just put a tiny little bit of hot glue there and set it in place. Wait for it to dry, or at least cool down just enough to keep it in place. Okay. We're going to try working in the direction the wire wants to go. Being bothersome to me. Now, like I said, you don't have to really worry about the wires being green because when you put the lid on, the lid's going to hide all the wires. Oops, see, I'm trying to move too fast. My glue came undone. I'm used to the other glue gun. I still have to get used to this one. I don't use the big one too often just because it is so big. It gets a little bit hard to get into tighter spaces with it. And I'm just kind of, like I said, going around the edge. There's a little lip in here from when they folded the paper over to the inside that you can kind of use as a guide to keep things in place. Hot. I did a small shop with me to the Dollar Tree earlier today that I'll be posting up. I used my other phone, and it doesn't like to take as long of videos as this phone, as my old phone that I'm using for videos does. Now this one I'm going to get a little fancy on because we're right at the juncture of the heart, so I'm going to get a little fancy to stick it in place. Something that you should keep in mind when you're using hot glue on wire is you want to make sure that the glue is not so hot that it's going to melt the wires and cause a fire hazard. That's very important. Oh. All right, I think I'm getting the hang of this new glue gun. It's an old glue gun actually. Oh no, it's probably about, like I said, a couple years old at least, but I don't use it that often, so I still call it new. Okay, I got interrupted. I have no idea what I was saying. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. Get this in position. And don't worry, you're gonna end up being longer than what your box is. Just keep going around until you've put out all the lights. Not a big deal. It'll work out where they end up kind of sort of in between each other. I'm trying to work too fast again. This glue gun's paying me back for my boast of like, oh, I can handle the hot glue. I'm used to it. I said that in a different video. Murphy's Law and all that. See how the lights are kind of lining up in between each other now? And if you didn't want to keep going around, you could just shove them under in that little cubby that you made down there. It'd probably make a nice glow effect. Turn this upside down. I don't know if you guys can actually see with the angle I'm at right now. I'll try to get a little bit better angle. Spider webs. Wanting to cooperate. All right, last one going in. Hopefully. And we're almost done. Okay. Gotta wait for that glue to catch. I'm just going to take a quick look, see if I've got any spider webbing off over the edges, which I do. I'm going to clean that up. Okay. Now, I'm going to just put my flowers in without gluing them, because I might come across something else that I like a little better later on. So there's that. Now we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to adjust our feet. Now it's just a matter of getting the wire. You want to have this part of the wire coming up towards the front. That way it has something to rest on. So there you go. Okay, now it's standing. There's that. Let me put some batteries in. I'm going to pause while I'm doing this so I don't bore you guys with putting in batteries. I'll be right back. Okay, batteries are in. Light is on. Make sure I'm not on my wire. I'm going to turn off my lights up overhead so you guys can see this a little better. Look at how cute! Oh my gosh! I might have to go buy me like 20 more of these. They are adorable. This is a cute little craft you can have for decorating your house for the holiday, or to give to a friend that you want to give them a Valentine, but you don't want it to be super like romantic. Or you have a friend that likes to decorate for Valentine's and you want to give them something a little bit more personal. This is such a cute idea. I'm going to try one more thing. I don't know if I kept some of the hearts from the other strand that I used in this one. Let me see if I can get... the hearts get lost. Wouldn't worry about that. And if you didn't ever want to redo the decorations or anything, you could actually glue the lid closed and be done with it. Now, of course, I've moved this around too much now. My flowers have come up. There we go. Okay. Here's my 2 boxes. I don't have enough batteries to have both lights on at the same time. But there you go. It's a cute little Valentine's shadow box tutorial that you can put anything you want in. Oops. One key thing is make sure your wires to your lighting are not under your box. Okay. If you like it, share it. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and if you have any suggestions or want to see a different kind, like instead of flowers with something else inside, comment down below. I am craving comments, so please somebody give me some feedback on these. I really appreciate it. Okay, with that, it's time to say, catch you on the next one.